What's up guys, Thomas Alex Norman here, and in this video we're going to be using one shot from this camera right here to show you guys what you could do in literally just a small space. Like I've just chosen a random patch of forest today, and I'm going to be getting a few shots with this camera here. So the light is fading very, very quickly. It's just about to go down under that hill, probably already has. So I'm going to try and get these shots as quickly as I can. So instead of potentially just going like this, what maybe a beginner would do and just kind of film patch of forest and maybe throw one of these in somewhere, what you can do instead is think in micro narratives. So quickly, how can I create a scene within a few different shots of this space here? So first thing I'm going to do is take advantage of this light right here. There's just a tiny bit of light left on a couple of these leaves. So zooming in, this is in no particular order. I don't know how I'm going to structure this in the edit, but all I want to do right now is get a few shots before the light goes. So first one is going to be the light on this leaf right there, and we're going to get some foreground stuff in, so some kind of blurred branches in the foreground. We're going to keep it on one of the rule of thirds, and we're going to move very gently left to right, getting the other stuff going past in the foreground to give it this kind of like 3D cinematic effect. More light before it goes. We've hardly got anything, to be honest. Maybe in the trees up here, there's a piece of like kind of lit ivy up there. You can kind of see that. So I've got a low aperture on right now, so hopefully I can try and kind of separate that with the focus from the rest, from the foreground and the background. So it kind of, because I can't zoom in that far, it's just going to draw the viewer's attention to that piece of ivy with a nice light on it there. So again, I might kind of try and get a bit of foreground in here and kind of pull up and around, maybe with some kind of, again, some left to right movement. Really kind of isolating that leaf. And I might try and kind of expose that against the white sky a bit more as well. Very nice, I like that a lot. Okay, we've got some light in the treetops here. So again, we're gonna point up here. What I like to do sometimes with these shots up top is do like a spin. So not just continuing like left to right, but you're kind of spinning around like that. And again, we're creating that kind of parallax effect with different layers of the canopy. Kind of, you're emphasizing that by moving the camera. If you just shot up, you kind of just like trees. But if you kind of move, even if it's in this kind of, this angle, you have the elements of the canopy in the foreground moving quicker than the ones in the background. And it kind of separates everything real nice. Okay, coming into here, we might choose a couple of kind of detail shots, get some kind of textures, some forest textures. There's like a tiny little shoot down here growing up. So, look, we got some more light in the background there. So what you can do also is use light to link shots together. And I'll explain that in a second. Let me just get this bad boy first. Damn, looking nice. Okay. I'm gonna get a still one as a backup. And then I might try and get a kind of moving in. Nice, cool. And then I'm gonna do a detail shot of that as well. Might kind of come down. You're kind of like emphasizing its smallness there. So what I mean here by getting the light, using the light to link shots together. So if I cut between one of these shots of like the nice light piece of ivy or the light leaf, and then suddenly I had another shot of like complete kind of shadowed shot, maybe like this, it doesn't really cut together that well. It's kind of just like, it's kind of jarring, because suddenly there's like, in one shot there's a nice warm light, and the other one it's really cold and like nothing because there's no sunlight. So what you can do, or what I did just here, is I came low like that, and the light is still in the background, so I'm pointing it towards some light in the distance. And even though my subject isn't lit by the sun, that light in the background cuts well, will enable us to cut well between the two things for a bit more consistency. Whilst I was down there, I got a bit inspired by some bark on the floor. Who gets inspired by bark? So what I'm gonna do is get some barky earth shots. Look at this beautiful barky earth. Love it, absolutely love it. So I'm gonna move through like that. I mean, any of these kind of low aperture, like forest texture shots are quite good to go with. Here's another one here. We can do a little focus play as well. It's quite hard to get these stable without a tripod. So I can use my hand as a base. Very hard, actually. All right, what else can we get before the light fades? Let's have a look. Let's try this one. We got this kind of spider-like, spindly little fella here. Oh, look at that. We can kind of spin into focus with this one. There we go. And you got light in the background. Look at that. Beautiful. This might take me a couple. Kind of looks like a weird creature. All right, I just kind of came down, instead of like twisting into that one and going in and out of blur, I just kind of came down instead. It's really hard to sometimes get the movement on point without a gimbal and just like shaking and handheld. So you got to kind of work with like within what your capabilities are. So if you are shooting a handheld, there's a lot of stuff you can do that might look like a gimbal, especially with stabilization. But if you're trying to get, like I just did, I'm trying to get like a perfect spin shot, getting something from out of focus into focus with my arms over my head, it's quite ambitious. So sometimes you get them, sometimes you won't. There is a shot down here that I can get within this shot, which is this really nice tree kind of, it's almost like reaching into the sunlight there. The tree is like, I mean, it's fallen over, but I think that would be a super nice push-in shot. So already I'm kind of like getting in my mind how I can start piecing these shots together. I'm thinking about the light linking them together. I'm thinking about some of the different movements, so I've gone kind of left to right in a lot of these shots to get that kind of continuous movement flow. The subjects are always, obviously they're the same thing, it's like nature, so thematically there's not a problem. I'm just now looking for a couple more. Might get a close-up of this one as well, see if I can stay in. I don't know if I'm in this shot anymore, but if I can zoom in, then it's really good to like, any shot that you like, you can kind of like double up on that by getting a closer one. So I really like that push-in shot I just got. So I know that instantly from that push-in shot, I can cut to another shot that's just closer, showing a bit more of the detail of this scene, really, this tree going into the light. So again, pushing in, we're matching the movement between the two shots. That should look pretty cool. So I know I can just cut those two shots together really nice. And I think that is it, guys. In the edit, I'm gonna cut those shots together in a sequence that makes sense. I'm gonna do a bit of sound design, obviously just color grade it a touch, add some music, and that's it really. So it's like, it's not gonna be a super impressive sequence, it's not gonna blow your mind, but what we've hopefully done is created a nice, cinematic, visually stimulating piece out of literally a random patch of forest that I chose for no specific reason. So what I want this to show you is that you don't have to be in Thailand or Bali or whatever to make a nice travel video, or more importantly, you don't have to be there to practice making travel videos, at least these style of videos. What you can do is get outside, get into the countryside or nature or anywhere that's near you, even the urban environments, and just start practicing, start getting shots, kind of give yourself a challenge, you know, create a limit for yourself. I could have just said to myself, right, go into the forest and create a video. But it's often more interesting to try and squeeze the most out of one specific scene, like this one, for example, and really just squeezing every drop out of it that you possibly can, because that's gonna push you, that's gonna get you more creative than just saying, yeah, film nature. If you want a completely free list of the gear that I use and also the gear that I recommend for beginners, hit the link in the description. That'll take you to the page where you can download that. I'll send that to your inbox along with some tips and tricks supporting you on your filmmaking journey. Keep filming. Bye-bye.